document consisting of all the different constraints that we would be creating as part of this tutorial. The name of the table is cars. We're going to create 4 different constraints on 4 different columns of this table. Now the first column on which we're going to create the constraint is the car_ID column. The constraint is a primary key constraint called car_ID_pk. The next column is the category column. We're going to create a check constraint where we would check that the acceptable values for this column are only new, used, and unknown. The name of this constraint would be category_chk. The third column on which we would create a constraint is mf_id. We would be creating a foreign key constraint on this column that would reference the manufacturer table's mf_id column. Now, the manufacturer table is an existing table in which the mf_id column is its primary key. The name of this constraint would be mf_id_fk. Finally, we will be creating a constraint on the price column, which would be a check constraint that would check that the price is always greater than 0, and the name of the constraint would be price_chk. To create these constraints using SQL Developer action menus, the first thing that you would have to do is select the table and right-click on the name of the table. A pop-up menu will be displayed with a number of different options, and because we are adding constraints, we are going to select the option of constraint. Now, using this menu, you will be able to do a number of things with constraints, such as add constraints. You can add add the unique constraint, add the foreign key constraint, add primary key, add check constraints. You can drop constraints as well as perform actions such as renaming, enabling, disabling constraints, and so on. Now we're going to add the first constraint, which is the primary key constraint on our cars table. I'm going to choose the option Add Primary Key. Now the Add Primary Key dialog window has appeared, and what I will be able to do is input the name of the constraint, which was cars_ID_pk. The column on which I wanted to create this constraint was car_ID, and I'm going to drop this list down and choose car_ID. I'm going to select the apply button and choose the OK button under the confirmation window. Once again, I'm going to right click on cars and choose the option constraint to add the check constraint. Now the check constraint was being added on the category column. The name of the constraint was category_chk, and the check that had to be performed was that the category columns values could only be new, used, and unknown. In order to do this, I'm going to use the in operator, and I'm going to specify the values one by one, which was new, used, and unknown, within single quotes because they are all character strings. I'm going to select the apply button and once again select OK on the confirmation window. Now the third constraint that I had to create was the foreign key constraint, which I'm going to create once again by right-clicking on cars, choosing the option of constraint and choosing the option add foreign key. The name of the constraint was mf_id_fk. The name of the column on which the constraint had to be created was mf_id. The table that was being referenced was the manufacturer table, so I'm going to choose the name manufacturer from this drop-down list. And within the manufacturer table, the column that was referenced was mf_id. I've specified all the inputs that were required for the creation of the foreign key. I'm going to select the apply button and I'm going to select the OK button under the confirmation window. Finally, to add the check constraint on the price column, once again, I'm going to choose the option constraint and I'm going to choose the option of add check. The name of this constraint was price_chk. The check that had to be performed was price had to be greater than 0, so I'm going to use a simple greater than symbol to show you as the operator for this condition, and I'm going to go ahead and select the apply button. OK under the confirmation window, and at this point we have created all our constraints. Now to view the constraints that have been created, I'm going to expand cars, and on your right side panel you're going to get a tab with the details of the cars table, and we have a number of different tabs, and because we're talking about constraints, I'm going to choose the tab called constraints. Now here we can see the different constraints that we have just added as part of this practice. We looked at how to add a primary key called car underscore ID underscore PK. We added the check constraint on the category column. We added the foreign key called MF underscore ID underscore FK on the MF underscore ID column. And we added the check constraint on the price column. This was a simple tutorial showing you how to add constraints to a table after the table has been created. We hope you find this tutorial useful.